Before anyone ever cracked a vault, we had to invent something far more dangerous than crime. A reason to commit one. We didn't create robbery. We built a world that made it possible. Before the getaway car, the silent alarm, the masked man with a plan, something had to happen. A lot of things, actually. We had to invent currency, then trust someone else to hold it, then protect it, then define what it meant to steal it, and finally, imagine a way to take it. The bank robbery didn't just appear, we built it, layer by layer, without even realizing. This is the story of how human progress, one invention at a time, accidentally created the perfect crime. Not just an act of theft, but the ultimate test of trust, power, and design. You're about to discover a history you were never taught, one where the vault was never the beginning. It was the end of a much older plan. Before anyone ever thought about robbing a bank, there had to be something worth stealing. Not food, not land, not livestock, but something far more dangerous. Value, in a form you could hold. Imagine standing in a dusty village in the Fertile Crescent, nearly 10,000 years ago. You're a farmer with 2 goats. You need grain. So, you walk to your neighbor and negotiate. You point to the goats, he points to a sack of barley. You argue, you barter. Eventually, you both agree. 1 goat for 2 sacks. But what if he doesn't need goats? What if his granary is already full? What if you don't want grain, but cloth? This was the flaw of barter. Slow, inefficient, confusing. You couldn't store wealth, you couldn't move it, and you certainly couldn't hide it. But something was coming. An invention so transformative, so deceptively simple, it would change everything. Money. Long before gold coins, money wasn't metal, it was meaning. Cowrie shells in the Pacific, beads, salt blocks, and iron tools in Africa and Asia, even cattle. These early currencies held value because they held belief. But they were flawed. You couldn't buy a loaf of bread with half a cow. You couldn't haul 10 sacks of salt across the desert. Society needed something better, smaller, sharper, standardized. Something that whispered, "Trust me." Around 600 BCE in Lydia, now modern-day Turkey, King Alyattes minted something revolutionary, a stamped disc of electrum, marked with a royal lion. This wasn't art, it was a promise. This metal had value because the king says so. The first standardized coins were born. For the first time, value could be measured, carried, traded far beyond your village, and crucially, hoarded. And where there's portable value, there's theft. Temptation had entered the economy. Coins now clinking in pockets, another question emerged. Where do you keep it? In ancient Babylon, the answer was sacred. Temples. Priests kept clay ledger tablets. Deposits were recorded, interest calculated, silver protected. These were the first bankers. But more than that, they were gatekeepers of trust. Robbing a temple wasn't just theft. It was blasphemy, punishable by exile, or worse. But centralizing wealth also centralized the target, and somewhere, someone was watching. As trade exploded from the Silk Road to Rome's ports, coins became passports. The Greek drachma, the Roman denarius, the Chinese cash coin, threaded in strings trusted by peasants and princes alike. What gave a coin value? 3 things: authority, a king's seal; scarcity, just rare enough; and trust, the true core of currency. Because once people believe something has value, it becomes real. And once it's real, people will lie, cheat, and steal for it. Where there's real money, fake money follows. In China, counterfeit coins flooded the markets. In Rome, Emperor Nero diluted the denarius with cheaper metals. This wasn't theft with a knife. It was theft with a stamp. Forgery wasn't about taking coins. It was about deceiving trust. Value, it turned out, could be faked. And so could the system that issued it. By the Middle Ages, money had become more than a means of trade. It was a weapon. It built cities, bought armies, created dynasties. So we responded with counting houses, parchment ledgers, and transcontinental exchanges. Money had become capital, and capital breeds capital crimes. As wealth grew, rulers realized something. Money wasn't just economics, it was power. So they wrote laws: the Code of Hammurabi, the Lex Julia of Rome, rules that separated theft from robbery and robbery from rebellion. But even law couldn't kill desire, not when there was a faster way to wealth, a way that didn't ask, didn't wait, and didn't earn. And that's the paradox of money. It was made to bring order, but it planted the seed of chaos. Currency gave us trade, currency gave us empires, and currency gave us civilization. But it also gave us temptation, greed, envy, the dream of getting rich in a single act. Before the vault, before the lockpick, before the silent alarm, we had to invent the one thing every robber needs: something worth stealing. But once we had that, another question emerged. Where do you keep it? Coins could vanish, trust could be broken, and civilization, now wealthy, had a new problem: protection. That's when we stopped just trading money and started guarding it.